Hello, esports fans, and welcome here to this game of StarCraft that was found on reddit.com/r/castit. I'll be your host, Thaco, and we will see spawning here in the upper right-hand position on Derelict Watcher. It will be our Terran player from Team Pulse. It is MonstR. His opponent, down in the bottom left-hand position, will be the Zerg player. It will be also from Pulse, Lucoda. Based on both their colors as well as the chat they're having, I believe that this is a practice game played between the two of them, hoping that they will improve their gameplay overall. So it leaves us with a very exciting possibility that we'll either see some absolutely absurd play come out of these two people as they try to develop some new strategies, or they will just play incredibly standard, but still training, so still trying to do it better and better. So we'll just have to wait and see what comes out of them. Looks like MonstR's opting to not go for that wall off. He does not think that Lucoda will be rushing, and that might have been an agreement before the game. You know, that doesn't really help improve anybody's play overall. And for his part, Lucoda will not be rushing, as he is going to be grabbing that hatchery first. That opening is so common against the Terran player because there is just almost nothing that a Zerg player can do, or Terran player can do to the Zerg player to punish him for that very greedy economic opening. But we have seen that MonstR is getting that incredibly fast refinery out. That might be so he will have that 50 gas ready almost as soon as that barracks finishes, so he can get those Reapers out right away. And how he hasn't started a Marine yet, I think that is very possible. Yes, there is the Reaper. He will be sending that around the map to try to get that scouting information, because he did not send out any SCVs for that scout, getting that orbital command on the way as soon as possible. And the overlords from Lucoda will reach MonstR's base momentarily and let him know what is going on. Most importantly, they will see that MonstR did not opt for that command center first opening, which some Terran players will do to counter that hatchery first opener from the Zerg player. That first Reaper is finished. He will be grabbing that second one. Going to commit a little bit to that Reaper play. 1 and 2 is not incredibly heavy Reaper play. It is a good scouting ability. There's actually not really a whole lot of options for the Reaper to get up into the base. He has to enter through this natural ramp, or anywhere along the edge here in the natural. But there's not a very wide area that he can jump up from the natural to the main. But he will be able to get that scout off. He will also be able to get some light harassing done here with this Reaper. This Reaper looks like it might actually get a drone kill. Nope, gets that turned into the spine crawler almost instantly. There was a short pause, and the Zerglings rush right up and kill that Reaper. Gets the cancel on the spine crawler. That was ineffective by MonstR. Excellently played out by Lucoda. But the second Reaper will be coming down almost immediately. He will want to hopefully get a little more scouting information done, but behind this we see that MonstR is not committing any more heavily to the Reaper play. In fact, no, he is going to be going for the factory, also grabbing that reactor. Will most likely be switching that up into Hellions and will grab the command center. And was all of that seen by Lucoda? No, he has not actually seen anything yet. MonstR also is going to be grabbing that third command center very quickly behind his second, and will be floating that down to the low ground once he feels safe in his position. Second Reaper has just now gotten down to the base of Lucoda. Has not tried to get up there. There are 2 queens right on that ramp. He will have a very hard time getting up there if he even tries. That 4 queens out on the map from Lucoda, it is. He was talking about that a little bit at the beginning of the game. Tries to get that surround on that Reaper, and he gets it perfectly. Still has not lost anything to that Reaper and has killed off 2 of them. But behind this, we see that there are 2 Hellions on the way. He should wait till he has around 4 or 6 of those before he sends those out onto the map. And he's going to start working on that wall off at the natural. Does not want Zerglings to be running by down there. But there's not any swell of Zerglings coming out onto the map from Lucoda. He will be grabbing his third hatchery, getting those larvae, getting that economy going nice and early in this game while he still has that time. Getting those guys into gas as soon as they are done. He has good saturation at both his main and his natural. That third should finish up momentarily, so he can get this drone sent over there. But now we see that the Hellions will be moving out across the map from MonstR. Will he use them to scout up into that third to see if it's there, or will he get held off by these queens? He might be, all he is able to do at this point is deny creep spread, which even that is going to be a very powerful position for him to be in. Or can he sneak by and get up into the third? No, does not want to try that. He is reinforcing all the way up to those 6 Reapers. Not Reapers, Hellions. But behind this, he has switched over into what will look like a biomine play, getting those double engineering bays up, getting those mines produced as quickly as he can, gets the scan down, gets some more creep spread denied. Actually, he's doing a really good job denying creep spread, has killed off a lot of those active creep tumors, does not want his opponent, the Zerg player, to get that out of control creep spread, which will allow him to get those surrounds on anything, also denying that vision. Always so important. We see that Zergling speed is about halfway done. The upgrades for both players will be finishing about in time with each other as they started those up around the same time. So no one will ever have a massive upgrade advantage. They will just have those upgrades. Stim Pack will finish up momentarily around the same time as Zergling speed. We see that that third is being floated down to this platform down here as opposed to this area here, which is where he constructed it, which looked like he might be where he was going to take it. Getting those Widow Mines spread out in the low ground, just trying to gain this area here so he does not have to worry about any type of run-bys from Zerglings or anything. But we actually have not seen any massive number of Zerglings being constructed at any point in this game. Lucoda just being happy to sit back and build up a massive economy, which he has done quite successfully. Even now tossing down that second hatchery in the main for those additional larvae should be soon then starting to swell out a massive number of units, even taking a 4th base here without a lot of units on the map, sending out some Zerglings. These should just be used to scout around a little bit. Wants to find out if there is anything. That first one will die there from the Widow Mine, but he does see the bunker. He should know that there is a command center there. Did he actually see the command center? He did not, but he saw the bunker. There's no reason to put a bunker there if there is not a command center there. The Hellions from MonstR are once again going to move out onto the map, and they are going to go pretty far into creep here. Are they going to try to run all the way in, or are they just going to sit here and try to deny creep? But they are going to get surrounded almost instantly by those Zerglings. The Zerglings trying to get the surround as best they can. They have not killed off any of them yet. The first one falls, second one falls, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth all fall in quick succession. Those Zerglings cleaned up those Hellions, which drove so far onto that creep without really killing off anything. They didn't get many of the creep tumors. They didn't get any queens. They got maybe a handful of Zerglings. Not an effective trade there. And as we were saying before, those upgrades are going to stay about in tandem for both players. But the big change here is that the Baneling Nest as well as the Spire are on the way from Lucoda. And Lucoda is starting to build up that gas bank that he needs to make either the Baneling push or the Mutalisk push effective. But, you know, MonstR's chilling on pretty equal footing in bases. His saturation at his third is not the same as it is for Lucoda, but he has the 3 bases, and he can mule all 3 of his bases. So their incomes are very similar at this point. Both players, neither player is going to have a very large lead in that regard, but here we go. Now Lucoda is starting to saturate that 4th base. This is where he will start to pull ahead in the economic war of this game. He's even tossing down those spore crawlers so he cannot get dropped, as well as spine crawlers there. And we see that the first Mutalisks are in production. There are 9 in the production tab. He will have those on the way very soon. And there are only Widow Mines chilling behind the bases. There are also turrets. Only turrets at the main and the third. Nothing at the natural, because he does not really have a very good approach vector to that natural. And there is a drop moving out across the bottom of the map. He will get that spotted by that Overlord, though. He's going to... Okay, he's going to drop to kill the Overlord. Just a free Overlord. Why wouldn't you want to kill it? But the Mutalisks are amassing up in the north with some Zerglings on the ground. Zerglings also being positioned in the south to try to kill off and catch that drop. They will catch those Marines on the ground. That's an unfortunate loss for MonstR. All those Marines dying off, none of them getting lifted up and evacuated. Around the same time, the Mutalisks tried to sweep up into the main, and they did not do much, it looks like. It looks like a few of them may have died up there. Were there any Widow Mines up there? There were Widow Mines up there. They may have gotten hit by those Widow Mines. Even those Marines could have held off that many Mutalisks there, because there are not the largest quantity. There are 12 Mutalisks on the field right now. Not an uncommon number in the ZVT matchup because Mutalisks aren't, while they are powerful, there are good Terran answers to Mutalisks. So it is very common to just get a handful of Mutalisks to force the defenses to be pulled out and then to switch back into a more ground-based army. The Mutalisks are going to try to sweep up towards the third base, but there are both Widow Mines and missile turrets here defending the third. He will not be able to get much damage on here, but the SCVs are being pulled out. So many free SCVs just chilling on the low ground. Did they get baited into Widow Mines? No, they did not. That was excellent control on those Mutalisks. The bunker will fall. The Marines inside will all die, and he will go to town on the SCVs here for as long as he can. Activated the Widow Mine. The only thing there now is the turrets, but the Marine reinforcements are called in, and that Mutalisk push is forced back. The Alligator Clip upgrade is on the way. The recent Drilling Claw, the actual name of it, upgrade is on the way for MonstR, so those Widow Mines will be more effective. Huge number of them being picked off there by the Banelings. The Marines are out of position from those Widow Mines, but the Widow Mines just now getting those amazing connections, killing off a lot of those ground troops for Lucoda. MonstR pushing forward, gonna be going at the creep here, gonna be just making a pretty monster push here. He could do massive damage right now. There are a huge number of Zerglings being produced. The infestation pit is on the way, so that hive can be researched, so we can get those tier 3 upgrades as well as the Mutalisks. Also the infestors just to hold everything in place, but the Marines just doing massive damage to everything. The Zerglings just barely holding them back. How many Widow Mines are there left with this push? There are 11 Widow Mines somewhere, but there are only 5 here with the push. Banelings rolling in and getting excellent connections, but the Widow Mines then go off and kill off all of those aggressive Zerglings. Combat down here on the south side is getting something done. He is pushing in all across the middle of the map, and they are just holding each other in this position. Neither side really able to push through the other, but it looks like MonstR is starting to run thin on units, and Lucoda may have held this back for now, but he will not be able to push out across over those Widow Mines, especially if they time out just in time and those Mutalisks get caught out of position. It's coming close a couple times here. They've just missed the timer on a few of those. Zergling's going to run in and try to pick off the Widow Mines while they are unburrowed. They are going to kill those off for free. And there's the detonation on the Zerglings, killing off all the Zerglings there. The Marines down here did get cleaned up by Banelings. Widow Mine there being picked off by the Mutalisks, but there's another big ball of Marines and Widow Mines pushing down here. They caught those morphing Banelings out of position. They will kill all of them off. Mutalisks getting caught out there, being picked off by those Marines. The Banelings all getting killed off. Excellent splits there to prevent even that last one that did successfully morph from killing anything. There are still the Widow Mines up to the north. And then in the southern passageway, the Widow Mines are getting positioned. They are actually pulling back because they do not have the troops they need to truly push forward right now. And those third level upgrades are on the way for the Terran player for his infantry. Even getting that armor plating level 2 for his Widow Mines as well as his medevacs. Huge Baneling connections going across all the Marines there while the Widow Mines were unburrowed. Widow Mines not getting excellent connections there, and the Widow Mines are going to have to hold off as the Marines get pushed back by the Banelings and the Zerglings. Those Widow Mines are all going to get picked off there in the middle of the map as those Mutalisks swoop around and clean up what was left and what did not detonate on those Zerglings. We do now see that the Ventral Sax upgrade is on the way for the Zerg player. He's hopefully going to go for some drops here, and this base in the northwest, upper left corner of the map will get picked off. The Mutalisks up here in the middle of the map trying to pick off any stray Widow Mines and Marines. The Zerglings and Banelings running around the outside of the map trying to pick off any bases that the Terran player might try to hide around, and they will be able to prevent this one in the north for a little while, but that is not before they get picked off by all of these Marines and Widow Mines. The Banelings trying to rush in, but there are good splits coming out here from our Terran player, and he will be able to pick off all of those Zerglings and Banelings, but at a heavy cost. He lost a lot of his Marines, and the Mutalisks will now swoop around and again try to deny this base and maybe even swoop up into the main and kill off some of the production for MonstR. Lucoda trying to go for the jugular with these Mutalisks, but while he is doing that, the Terran player is going to ignore that and start pushing down the middle of the map, positioning those Widow Mines on creep. But back home, he is losing barracks. Not actually losing any barracks, he is only losing the reactors, so his marine production will be slowed. These Widow Mines burrow, they can get huge connections onto those Mutalisks, which clump up and die so quickly to Widow Mines. The turrets will force back those Mutalisks, but 4 reactors were lost there. That did a huge number to the marine production. Widow Mines not getting the connections they need as those Banelings roll across and kill off a large number of those Marines. The Widow Mines getting, well, decent connections, just not as big as they needed to be to prevent that from doing monster amounts of damage. And these Zerglings will get cleaned up. These Marines will actually run terror for a little while down here at this southern base. But now we see that the Hive is finished. The third tier upgrades are on the way for our Zerglings, as well as that Adrenal Glands upgrade. And we see that additional bases are coming in, both in the northwest and the southeast. Upper left and bottom right of the map. That drop did get, that wasn't a drop, that was a push. That push did get cleaned up, and back home a large number of Marines and Widow Mines are once again accumulating actually quite a large Mutalisk count onto the map at the moment, around 20. How many of those have we lost this game? We've lost 25 Mutalisks, and we have also lost, or still have 20 on the map. This is actually not the greatest engagement here because those Banelings were not done yet. They will all get picked off, and a lot of Zerglings and Mutalisks died there. The Terran player now has the time he needs to split his Marines so those Banelings cannot be as effective as they could have been. And all of the Mutalisks might get picked off here. No, they barely hold on. There are only 5 Mutalisks left on the map. And we see that there are a handful of Widow Mines scattered around. And the next wave of Widow Mines and Marines are pushing down, and they will force back these Mutalisks. That was, well, it was a costly engagement for both sides, but in the moment it looked like the Zerg player came out ahead, and he may have, as he has a large number of Banelings morphing here behind these destructible rocks. The Terran player is going to be coming through, but that is known by the Zerg player because of that creep spread. Just a huge stream of Marines and Widow Mines coming out across the map here. Widow Mines getting good connections on these Mutalisks, weakening them up, softening them, preventing them from really being effective in this next fight. And this base may be sacrificed because he will not be able to get his Zerglings over those Widow Mines. He knows that as well. He's just trying to get the drones out of there, letting him have that base. But the Marines are chasing down those drones and will kill off all of them. And the base does fall. There are, again, even more Marines and Widow Mines streaming out across the map. Huge number of Banelings being morphed in right now. 24 Banelings currently sitting on the map. Looked like 12 Mutalisks, 8 more in production. Mutalisks going out around the map, trying to get good denies of bases, and they find this juicy, unprotected base. But back home this base does fall very quickly as those Marines run in, and those Widow Mines got excellent connections, weakening up everything. Marines even pulling back, trying to go back home to protect this base. Both players just sacrificing bases, trying to force the other player out of position. And it looks like the Mutalisks will actually be able to pick off that command center. Marines continuing to go to town here. They will not be able to force that Spine Crawler down, but the Widow Mines will prevent anything else from being rebuilt there until those Widow Mines are cleaned up. Marines now going around trying to deny the creep spread. They did miss a tumor over here, so the creep will chill there for a while, but it will be disconnected from the rest. Marine down here just very safely trying to pick off all the buildings it can. Huge Baneling hits just roll in and kill off all of the Marines in the middle of the map. How many Banelings? We have 29 Banelings and 42 Zerglings currently on the map to just a whole lot of Marines. 77 Marines currently sitting in the middle of the map, pushing their way down back onto the creep. They are once again going in and cleaning up that creep spread in the middle of the map. This actually was, when it was laid down, really nice creep spread. You could see a large portion of the map. Widow Mines are burrowed here under all of the Marines, and huge Banelings just roll in from the side and clean up a lot of those Marines. Even more Banelings rolling in, meeting excellently with those clumps. Now the Marines have split. Widow Mines actually have not gotten any connections in this fight because they were so far back. And there is nothing else going around the sides. Both players just trying to mass up troops, getting ready for this big fight that will happen here shortly in the middle of the map. Both of them jockeying for position. The Terran player wants to pull back and get those Widow Mine connections if he can. Does not want that one, as the Widow Mine actually disconnects with a large number of the Marines as well. And Banelings roll in and kill off all of the Marines. The Marines and Widow Mine are cleaned up. The Mutalisks and Zerglings have ruled the day in the middle of the map, and they pick off a couple of the retreating medevacs before they are forced back by those Marines and Banelings that are in the Marines and Widowmines that are in the middle of the map. And Banelings trying to roll in and get connections on the Marines again, but the splits here are actually perfect, preventing a large amount of damage going down here. Those Widowmines trying to get positioned under those Mutalisks. The Mutalisks do retreat because they know they are going to be lost if they engage with that. And there are Zerglings trying to run in around and get the flank here. No, they think better of it and pull back. Marines repositioning themselves, regrouping here in the middle of the map. SCV transfer happening here. Where are these SCVs going? Are they going to try to toss out another command center over here? Yes, they are. They're actually flying the command center that actually mined out all of the minerals down here. That's actually a huge issue right now. MonstR is mined out at all of his mining bases. He does not have more potential income for a while. This is it. This is his army. What he has on the map right now is all he will have for quite a while. And he does not have a lot. He has 23 Marines and 7 Widowmines. He has to get this base transferred if he wants more production. He has a huge number of SCVs just chilling, trying to get things done. Gonna go up and try to deny this base for Lucoda. He wants to prevent. If he can't have income, he doesn't want his opponent to have income. But Banelings roll in and kill off all of the Marines. That was actually devastating. That killed off. He is down to 8 Marines and 5 Widowmines, and the Banelings actually getting picked off by the Widowmine before the Banelings do explode and kill off the Widowmines. Huge, good connection on the Mutalisks there. The base has now landed. He needs to not be long distance mining here if he wants to get himself back in this. Mining 47 of 24 SCVs are currently mining on this base. This is all he has, and he GG's. He knows it. He is done. That was just a huge slugfest that happened in the middle of the map there for so long. 346 Marines died, 338. Excellent control by Lucoda in the end to beat out MonstR, who did split well against the Banelings for a long time, but in the end, Lucoda just expanded better and was able to hold back his opponent. So congratulations to Lucoda on that win. And I hope you will all join me for more games of StarCraft in the future. Thank you all for watching.